We are here in a secret location to deliver you an exclusive interview of the first Vietnamese prisoner of war fighting for Russians and captured by the Ukrainians. They're being used as cannon fodder to refill the ranks of Russia's army in Ukraine.
They force you to do everything. If you don't listen, they beat you. If you don't comply, they're ready to kill you.
You said that you never held a weapon. How come in 2 months in a war, in an active war, you never took a weapon, and how did the Russians react?
They beat me. They took me and 3 more people. 2 went ahead, and they abandoned me with another man. We stayed behind, with the first 2 going slowly. Then, the 3rd guy went off and committed suicide. He pulled out a gun and shot himself instantly. I couldn't stop him. After that, I also ran away. They beat me a lot. They used guns to beat me with. They said if I didn't leave, they'd shoot me. They beat the other guys too. In general, what they say on TV is one thing, but in reality, it's different.
Please tell me more about the conditions on the front line, how the fighting was. You said you were cooking, but what were the missions?
We were brought from Moscow on a large bus. After that, they took us to some trenches with only 3 or 4 people, a couple of meters apart. There, we cooked for each other and for everyone else too. They also trained us, but I was assigned to the kitchen. So all day, I was washing and cutting vegetables, doing laundry, cleaning, marinating meat, cooking, and chopping firewood. When they forced me out of the trench, I was practically one of the last to go. When I left, I had nothing on me. Not even a gun or any equipment, no food. They didn't even give me any water. Nothing at all. I had nothing to eat or drink.
Luong Minh Thuan is 50 years old and thin as hell. He obviously doesn't belong at the front. According to him, he hurt his leg while running away from a Russian position in the Luhansk region. According to Luong, at some point, Russian forces forced him to leave the trench where he was stationed on an unclear mission. The Ukrainian soldiers who captured him found him wandering in the village of Borivska-Andreevska in Kharkiv region, close to the front. Realizing that he had gotten lost and had not reached Russian forces, he voluntarily surrendered. He was exhausted and received medical care and food. But if I understand well, if you were only cooking, why were you captured by the Ukrainians?
While I was climbing out of the position when they forced me to leave, I overheard 2 people talking about how the path in front of me led to Russia, while the path to the right led to Ukraine. Then one guy killed himself, and the other two ran away. They all had guns, and I had nothing. I took the path to the right because I decided to run towards Ukraine. I just wanted to go to Ukraine. It was my own choice. No one forced me.
We asked the unit which deals with such cases what this weird mission was. The answer was simple and brutal. Russia uses foreign conscripts like Luang in the kill zone as bait to find Ukrainian positions. It's pretty common to spot them. Hadn't he surrendered, his fate was sealed from the get-go.
Короче, вот такие товарищи у нас прибыли. Вот. What is your name?
Francis.
Сосать, уголек ты нахуй.
A lot of foreign conscript recruits faced racism and bullying. Did you had the same experience with the Russians?
Yes, I did. I did, but they didn't express it much, but I knew it from their attitude. It exists. It exists. When I was brought here, I wasn't discriminated against. I was treated like a human being. Very well. Honestly, I'm very moved, though I can't fully express it in words. But being here for even a day has given my life so much meaning.
Спасибо.
If you don't speak Russian, how did you communicate with soldiers and other people?
Since I did not understand Russian, they reluctantly let me cook, even though they didn't really like it. They pressured me many times, and deep down, I didn't want to get involved with guns or anything like that. Those two things were the problem. They didn't like me. They didn't like me.
Were you aware when you arrived in the front that you would be used as cannon fodder?
At first, I feared that, but when they put me in the kitchen, I started to think more simply. I thought, well, if they make me do this for 1 or 2 years and I just cook, that's fine. As long as I survive, I can become a person again. But you all know how I ended up. There are people, even those who speak Russian, who commit suicide. They don't want to live anymore. They're very young, around 25 or 26 years old. Young. They died right in front of me.
And how do you feel? How do you feel about that? How do you feel, being treated as, a piece of meat by the Russians?
It's the height of disappointment, the height of disbelief. They force you to do everything. If you don't listen, they beat you. If you don't comply, they're ready to kill you. If people were treated kindly, why would those young men kill themselves? Why would I have felt the need to run away?
Just for the record, you're basically telling that over the course of 2 months in the Russian army, you never killed anyone.
They only shot at me from both sides. Drones. Somehow, I'm still in one piece. I still have my arms and my legs. But I've never because I follow Buddha. I have no intention to murder and no hatred toward anyone. I love peace and I love Ukraine. I also love the Russians, but the ones who are truly genuine. As for the Russians who are not genuine, who don't know how to love, to be tolerant or compassionate, them I do not.
According to Ukraine's intelligence, roughly 27,000 foreigners are currently fighting alongside Russia. How much do they know when they sign a contract? How much do they know about the war in Ukraine? How much do they know about the Russian army and its policy of using foreign conscript as cannon fodder? Are they manipulated and coerced by Russia to fight here? Or are they just attracted by the promise of a Russian citizenship and money? To put it simply, is it a trap, or are they consenting victims?
Like many conscript foreigners before him, he claims he was forced to enroll and sign a contract with the army despite his poor understanding of Russian.
I came to Russia to visit my child. My wife and I separated a long time ago, when my daughter was very young, 2 or 3 years old. Once she was older, I heard she was studying in Moscow. So, I saved up money to visit her. It's a large sum of money for a man like me, working in Vietnam. I worked for several years to save up enough. I went on a short trip, and as you know, the visa only lasted a month. I overstayed, and they were going to arrest me. I thought I was being forced to work for them because I broke the law. I talked to them about my situation, about my trip abroad. And I explained it many times, but they did not listen. They deliberately tried to get my fingerprints on their database, but I really didn't want that.
What did the recruiters promise you? Did they promise you a Russian passport or citizenship or money? How much were you paid?
There was a lot written in there, but I didn't understand the language. They wrote it down, and they also translated it over the phone. I told them straight up that I didn't need a passport. That wasn't why I was there. They said that even without a passport, service still has to be for at least 1 year, if not 3, depending on your registration status. I said, I don't want to register. Is there any way not to? They said, no, you have to. Then I asked, what's the minimum duration? Is 6 months okay? They said 6 months isn't enough, has to be 1 year. They told me that after 1 year, I would have a house and all that. I didn't need that. I just needed the shortest term possible, and then I would go home.
Yet he admits he knew what he was signing.
I definitely knew. I knew that if I joined the unit, I wouldn't know where I'd be sent. But they forced me, because if I didn't sign, I'd go to jail. And where would I get the money for the fine? It was a huge amount. I was just traveling, so I didn't have anything. No money to pay the fine and return to Vietnam right away. I had no way out.
In some of our previous reports by my colleague Zhenya Melnik, Ukrainian authorities warned, don't sign a contract in Russia, it's not gonna end well.
Are there a lot of Vietnamese recruited by Russia now?
I only heard rumors of another person. I never saw him myself.
What did you know about the war in Ukraine before going to Russia and before going here?
I absolutely knew. I watched the news and saw suffering that no family, individual, or country should have to go through. I don't have much of an education, but from what I saw in the news, I knew this was a tragedy that should never have happened. At that time, I was still in Vietnam, and the news was incredibly sad, because I have friends and elders who studied in Ukraine before returning to Vietnam to work. Ukraine helped Vietnam a lot, from clothes and other things, even knowledge. All of that I understood, because Vietnam has been through the same thing. We also experienced war and loss. My family suffered many losses.
Are you aware on what Russian soldiers do to Ukrainian civilians and to Ukrainian soldiers?
I didn't know. I didn't know because they took my phone and other personal items. They didn't let me watch TV, so I didn't know.
Do you want to go back to Vietnam? Do you want to stay in Ukraine? And if that's the case, do you think you'll be exchanged or be part of a fund exchange with other prisoners?
I couldn't ask for anything more. If I were allowed, my first choice wouldn't be to return to Vietnam yet. Instead, I wish I could stay here of my own accord. I want to make amends for the mistakes I've made. This is the truth. I want to stay here and help rebuild Ukraine. I'll return to Vietnam only when this is over. That is my first wish, if I am granted permission. If not, I will return to Vietnam.
According to the soldiers to whom he surrendered, he expressed no desire to contact his family or the Vietnamese embassy. The Vietnamese embassy in Ukraine didn't answer our request for comment.
I'm sad. And what I want most, as I've said, is to stay and do something to atone for my mistakes. Secondly, and I say this from the heart, without the Ukrainians, I wouldn't have lived this long. It is my way to repay those who gave me second life.
Which message would you tell to Vietnamese people?
Listen to me, everyone. Don't go to war zones. Go to places where there's peace, compassion. Only go to places of suffering and loss to stand up for them and help them. Don't take part in invasions or go to countries to harm them. That's all.